snow has moved out. But Katie, now what we're talking about is the cold, and boy, is it cold. I mean, we thought New Year's Eve and New Year's Day was cold, but apparently this is going to be even worse than that.
Yeah, it is actually. It's going to be even harsher than that was, and this is a nice long 2-day stretch of it, no less. So we look at storm scan. There's not much to track here right now, thankfully. A few little, speckles of purple or green that show up on the radar. Here's what's left in the nor'easter, now long since making its full departure, but we're stuck with the chill. We're stuck with the wind. That's going to be with us for the long haul. Now, there's clearly a bullseye from yesterday up across New England when we look at the current snow cover here. But you can see how it extends anywhere, even from North Carolina. That darkest shade of blue, that is a 6 to 12 inch swath. Now, this is a little off simply because there are places that did end up better than a foot, but this is at least a good guide as to how much we ended up with. Around Philadelphia County, it did end up with 4.1 inches officially at Philly International, so we're right within that 3 to 4 inch range here with the color contouring. But obviously, the bullseye and the brunt of the storm ended up at the shore point. So snowfall totals, when you look at just the spread, they tell the story, right? You ended up with a record daily snowfall in Atlantic City as just over 13 inches, but it did start snowing Wednesday night, so officially your total is 14.2. In Dover, 4.3 inches fell, and in Bryn Mawr, up to 5. So yeah, there's quite the difference. You just don't have as much cleanup. It's half the amount of cleanup the further inland you go. But future feels like are very much uniform when it comes to the cold and how harsh it will feel for everyone. No one's going to feel like it's above zero anytime today. This, by 4 p.m., this model suggests that some spots may feel like it's 0 degrees, and that's the best we'll find for the rest of the day, even into the overnight. By tomorrow, this particular model is a little bit more optimistic. That will feel more like positive territory, but we don't really break that until Sunday. So really harsh cold is the story for that, and as a result here, from this point through Saturday, and even Sunday's pretty harsh, but it's not as windy. Monday, we crack freezing. Watch for a wintry mix late in the day, and Tuesday looks just glorious, sunny and 40 degrees.
40.
Never sounded so balmy, did it, Misha?
Yeah, a good thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. And a little bit meat on your bones, right?
Yes, exactly.
As if we need one more worry to go along with this cold weather.
I know, no kidding. And we're really talking about harsh stuff. You know, we try not to hype anything else up for you unless it's necessary. This is dramatic cold, and we could end up with record cold, in fact, in the next 2 mornings. We're going to flirt with it anyway, which we'll get to. But for now, at least, it's sunny outside. You do have that working for you, but the solar angle is so low, it's doing nothing to help warm you up, unfortunately. Let's take a look first, though, at where our wind gusts currently stand. They are still really potent. It's like they haven't changed at all, even since yesterday. Now, thankfully, of course, our powerful nor'easter has long since moved away. It's barely even visible on the radar at this point, but you've got gusts as high as the 30s and even still the 40s in Atlantic City. And even though it's coming in out of the west, it's not coming from the coldest place to the north. It's still a harsh breeze, and with the kind of cold we're facing, it'll of course feel that much worse. Now, storm scan is way quieter by comparison to the same time yesterday. When you look at the very wide zoom, you can barely make out what's left of the nor'easter, but it is still rotating away from Atlantic Canada. So we're in the clear in that regard. But you know, you've got to turn your focus to this cold. Once more, the feels like values, it could be even harsher. Places like State College and Scranton are into the sub-zero territory as well, but it's even worse into the teens below zero, as cold as 17 below zero in Buffalo, and the higher terrain, it's even worse than that. So today is a rough day. Tomorrow, just as harsh. Look at the Pocono range. I mean, this is blowing my mind here. 20 to 30 degrees below zero is the best it will feel throughout not just the morning, but at least a good portion of the early to midday. Now, here in the city, it's more like -5 to -10. So I don't want to say it's less harsh, but it isn't as severe, perhaps, and you'll still feel no better than zero for the majority of the day. So are we going to see record cold? It's close. It'll be a really close call here with our expected forecasted low into, say, 6-degree territory, 5-degree territory, respectively, Saturday to Sunday. The record both days is 4 compared to the balmy, by comparison, 26 on average. So we've got a shot at it. We'll see how we do. But, you know, even just records aside, you've got to be smart about how you prepare for this. A lot of us still have snow removal to get done here And my advice is to do it in shifts because frostbite can form, especially on exposed skin, in as little as 30 minutes. So if you've got to be out there and you don't have everything covered head to toe, you really stand a risk of a health hazard here. So if you feel stinging, burning, numbness of skin, anything like that, or your skin turns pale or red skin, those are also symptoms here of a sign that you've got to get inside. This is another thing that is just blowing my mind. This is a camera shot taken up in the Poconos at Blue Mountain, where I can't even believe there's this many people out there, but they're out there. This is a live look for you up at the Poconos. People are still getting in their skiing, and the camera is shaking on you. I mean, it tells you just how harsh it must be out that way. We look at the different ski resorts, though, and you've got ample trails open at this point. So, you know, if it weren't for the harsh cold, it would be a fantastic weekend for skiing, but one of these days, clearly not like the rest. If you're going to get it in, I'd say try for Sunday because that's at least a little less harsh, but please be careful in the way you dress for this. It's just that harsh. But we finally cracked that freezing mark, guys, by Monday. Trade-off is the potential of a wintry mix later in the day. Tuesday looks awesome. 40 and sunshine. It never looked so good. I know.
Let's go 43.
Breaking out the shorts at 40.
wait.
You know they are.